Hello everyone, welcome to the class 12 NCERT of economics. In class 12 we study economics in two different parts. One is microeconomics and the second one is macroeconomics. So before starting the session you have to understand what is the difference between microeconomics and the macroeconomics. In microeconomics we study about individuals. Individual here does not mean the English meaning of individual. Individual here means the single decision making unit. It can be a family, group of people, a firm, business or anything who possess the decision making authority. They are called as individuals. For example, if your family is listing down the ration for a month, they sit together and list down the required goods or the products and then they make a decision. Here the family or a group of people is called as individuals. In macroeconomics, we study about the entire nation. In economics, economy means a country's economy or a nation's economy. The key terms in microeconomics is demand, supply, price. These are the key concepts or key terms in microeconomics. In macroeconomics, we study about national incomes, inflation, growth, unemployment and poverty. These are the key concepts or key terms under macroeconomics. And microeconomics is a bottom-up approach. We first study about the individual and then collectively we'll move above or move forward. In macroeconomics, it is a top-down approach. We first study about the nation and then state and then district like this. And microeconomics has narrow reach and macroeconomics has wider reach. Here in microeconomics, we study about the individual decision making unit, and in macroeconomics, it has a wide scope. We study about the entire nation's economy. Now, think of a society. What is the meaning of society? Society means a group of people living together. In society, people have numerous wants and needs. They are in need of many goods and services. Now, we should know what is the difference between needs and wants. Needs means the basic necessities for life or for survival. For example, food, clothing, shelter, these are needs. And wants means the desires or luxuries. But because of the changing world, now the luxuries which were luxuries earlier have become the needs. For example, internet. Earlier it was a luxury, only people who can afford it used to have it, but now it has become an integral part of our life. Even these lectures are delivered through internet. So, because of the changing world, these needs and services, luxuries or wants will keep on changing. Now think of a society. In society, people need many goods and services or many combination of goods and services. For example, we'll take four different types of people. For example, farm family, a weaver, a teacher and a person who has no resources. First, we have to understand what is the resources. Resources are future stream of benefits. Resources are used to produce other goods and services. For example, capital goods, which you have studied in your previous classes. Capital goods means the machineries or the goods which are used to produce other goods or other machines. Similarly, resources are used to produce goods and services. All the resources available in this universe are categorized into four different types of resources. One is land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Broadly, all the resources are put under these four categories. And the rewards for these four resources are: for land, it is rent; for labor, it is salary or a wage; for capital, it is interest; and for entrepreneurship, for taking risk, what you will get in return, you will get profits. So now we have understood what is the difference between needs and wants and resources, types of resources, and what are the returns for these resources. So let's say there is a society in which there are four people. One is a farm family, weaver, teacher and few persons who possess no resources. What are the resources a family or farm family possess? Land, labor service from their family, equipments, machineries, fertilizers, seeds, all these things, etc. And what are the resources possessed or owned by a weaver? Yarn, cotton or some sewing machines, these. Then teacher, the resource of a teacher is his knowledge or the skills to teach. And there are few people who have no resources. So what do these four people do? They use their resources to produce something, either a good or a service, and they sell it to the other person who are in need of that, and in return they take whatever they want. The society or these poor people have numerous wants and needs, right? So the farm family grows corn or something, for example, and they sell it to the teacher, weaver and other persons, and in return they send their students or kids to the teacher for learning, and they buy clothes from weaver for their use. Similarly, the teacher sells his teaching expertise, and in return he will get corn, clothes. And similarly, weaver also, he sells his clothes, in return he will get educated for his kids or a family member, and corn from the farm weaver. But what if these needs and wants are numerous, infinite? We all want many things in our life. So there is a combination of goods and services which people want in this society, right? So everyone cannot get all the required things, right? Because the resources are limited. For example, the farm family, what they are growing, the crop is limited. He cannot buy all the things available in this world. So he has to make choice. Because the resources are limited and it has alternative uses, people have to make choices. Choice will lead to opportunity cost. For example, water. Let's say you will get only one bucket of water in a day. What you will do? First you will prioritize what is needed, what is most required. Drinking, and then cooking, then bathing or washing your utensils. Like this you will prioritize, because water have multiple uses. It is not only fit for drinking, it has many other uses, right? You can wash your dish, wash your clothes, you can use it for bathing, you can use it for planting trees. Many things are there, many uses are there for water. Now you will prioritize wisely, because you know that water is limited. Let's say you have unlimited amount of water, you can use it for wide purposes. Because you know that there is only one bucket or 20 liters of water is available in a day, you will now prioritize and first use it. So resources are limited will lead to choices. You have to make choice among these multiple users, and choice will lead to opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means the best next alternative foregone. Meaning, let's say you have 20 liters of water, first you will use it for drinking, and you need 5 liters for washing clothes or washing your utensils. Now you will sacrifice that and you will use it for drinking. Let's say, for even better understanding, you have 1 hour of time. You have two options. One is to watch this session, and second one is to watch your Instagram or watch any movies or web series. So you have only 1 hour time. This entire session is also 1 hour. Either you can use your 1 hour to study, to learn, or you can use your 1 hour to enjoy or for relaxation. So if you are studying, you are giving away your enjoyment time. If you are enjoying, then you are leaving away your learning time. So at the cost of enjoyment, you are learning here. If you choose to enjoy, then at the cost of learning, you are enjoying. So you have to make the wise decision, because the resources are limited. Time is also a resource. It is a limited. We have only 24 hours in a day. It is not unlimited, right? You have to plan accordingly, and then you have to make a choice. Every choice will come up with opportunity cost. All the people in the society are involved in three major activities. One is production, second one is consumption, and the third one is exchange. For example, these farm family, weaver, teacher are involved in production of some of a good or a service, and they will consume other good or service which they are in need of, and they will exchange, right? So every people in this society are involved in these three activities. These three activities, production, consumption and exchange, are called as three basic economic activities. So because the resources are limited, we have to allocate resources to produce a good or a service which are in high demand. If there is excess supply or excess production, what happens? It will go waste. The resources are wasted. We know that they are limited, but still we are wasting it. That is why the production should match the consumption. So we should allocate these resources to produce a good or service which are in high demand. Now this leads to the problem of allocation of goods and services. And after the production of goods and services, the another major problem is distribution of the produced goods and services. So they are called as three basic or central problems of economy. Which are they? They are how to produce, what to produce, how to produce, and how to distribute, for whom to produce. So these are the three major problems or central problems of economics. What to produce means it gives rise to the problem or question of how the resources, limited resources are allocated. How to produce means there are two different ways of producing. One is labor intensive or capital intensive. Labor intensive means more labor service will be used to produce. For example, our agriculture. 47% of our population is involved in agriculture. That means that is a labor intensive. And capital intensive. For example, our industrial sector, where the machineries or technology is more used than the labor service to produce a goods or service. And how to distribute? How do you distribute? Based on their purchasing power or based on the need or wants? These are the three major problems or the central problems of economics. What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So what do you think the answer for these questions? The answer lies in different types of economy. They are centrally planned economy, which is also called as socialistic economy, and market economy, which is also called as capitalistic economy, and the third one is mixed economy, which is a blend of both centrally planned and market economy. For example, centrally planned economies in our world are Russia, China, these are the Venezuela, these are the centrally planned economies. Capitalistic economies are most of the European countries or Western countries like USA. USA is a major capitalistic country in this world. Mixed economy is India, meaning certain part of resources are reserved for government or the publicly owned, for example our railways, and certain part will be left out for private economy. We will discuss what is the difference between these three types of economics. Centrally planned means here all the resources will be owned by a public or the government. They will decide what to produce, like the resources, the limited resources available should be spent on producing what type of good or service, and they will decide how to produce, either the capital intensive or labor intensive or a mix of both, or to what degree, to what extent, they will decide the both. And for whom to produce, they will decide how to distribute these goods and services produced. In market economy, market will decide. Market means what? How does the market decide? It's a centrally planned economy. We understand that there are group of people who are elected by the people. They will take a call. In market, who will decide? Think. So in market economy, demand and supply does the job of what the government does in centrally planned economy. So here, whatever the good or a service are in high demand, the resources will be allocated to produce those good or a service, and the price will depend on that. That you will study in your further chapters, how the price is fixed. There is a law of demand, law of supply, inflation, demand pulled inflation, cost push inflation. There are many things to learn. So here the two major forces or drivers of market are demand and supply. They will decide what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. And in mixed economy, for example, India, certain part will be of the resources will be reserved for government and certain will be left out for the private. For example, transportation. The buses or the aircrafts are opened up for private players. You can find private buses and private government buses both, but railways it is purely or 100% reserved for government, where you cannot find any private railways there.